Okay. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under indivisible, and justice. Thank you. Both of these meetings order. First, we have the consent agenda. Anybody on the council have any questions on the consent agenda?
I haven't.
If not, is there a motion?
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented and authorize the mayor to sign. I second.
Man,
Aye.
Ace.
Aye.
Heckman.
Aye.
Shields.
Aye.
Motion passed. Thank you. Comments from the public? I assume you two don't have anything extra? Okay. New business. First, we have the 2024 Miami County Fair lease agreement, which is something we do every year.
They did reach out. So this year we added a little change to it because we did remove Rock Stadium. But a lot of money to make that look nice. So if you noticed in the agreement, I did add that they would stay off of that property, but pretty much everything else is the same as it has been always.
Okay.
And I know, is there something permanently in place now as far as that property goes? Because I know there were some issues.
Yeah, I spoke with the fair board, and we came to an agreement that she will do her best to rope off, and we sent a map of where she wants it roped off for here now. So,
Good. Across from the playground.
no, Rock Stadium. Yes. We regraded and everything. Yep. They were very understanding. They apologized and it was all.
It was just a
It was a
misunderstanding.
team effort moving forward.
Anybody have any questions on this? If not, is there a motion?
I move to approve the lease agreement with the Miami County Fair Association and authorize the necessary signatures.
I'll second that, Mayor.
McMahon.
Aye.
Ace.
Aye.
Heckman.
Aye.
Shield.
Aye.
Motion passed. Thank you. I believe it's almost fair. Okay.
A lot of people come to that.
Next we have the intent to exceed the R&R neutral rate and set the public hearing.
So the city's revenue neutral rate for 2025 budget is 39.943, but the actual rate for 2024 budget was 41.894. So during the preliminary budget reviews, it appears the city will need to exceed the R&R. The final rate is not determined at this time. Staff believes setting the rate at the current anticipated amount of 42.059 will allow for room to adjust. So nothing will go up, but we can still adjust down. We still have time to do that. The public hearing should be set for September 10th, 2024 at 6 o'clock at the Paola Justice Center. That will fall within the timeline of the R&R hearings.
You know, a lot of people don't understand that revenue neutral rate, except the people that deal with it.
Yes.
And basically what they tried to do was to keep entities at the same level. It doesn't happen.
No, that's
They
very.
can't, not with the expenditures. And I don't know how many times in the county I had said, okay, what do you want to give up?
That's it. Yeah.
Nothing.
If you don't, I put in here, our anticipated amount to cut to meet for R&R would be $183,000. We wanted to try to cut.
And that's gonna be employees,
Right, yeah, because you don't want to cut services.
Right. and nobody wants to do that.
Your Honor, I'd like to move to notify the county clerk of the intent to exceed the revenue neutral rate. Public hearing and budget public hearing for September 10th, 24 at 6 o'clock at the Paola Justice.
I second that motion.
McMahon.
Aye.
Ace.
Aye.
Heckman.
Aye.
Shields.
Aye.
Motion passed. 2024 audit letter of engagement.
Carol Mays with Agler and Getter. We usually have this when we do the audit, but he got this to me afterwards. So if you would like to continue with him to do our audit for 2024, the amount is $16,990. And if you'll see on there, he's definitely been good in his price. So
He's pretty steady.
yeah, we like
Carol, please do.
Well, he does a good job.
He
And I think
does.
when there's
continuance of the relationship. It's easier for him to know what to look for.
Exactly.
Easier to work with, so I think it's good for everybody.
Yeah.
Any questions on that? If not, is there a motion?
I move to accept the letter of engagement with Agler and Gatter to audit the city of Paola financials for calendar year 2024 in the amount of $16,990.
Second. Oh.
Dan,
Aye.
Hayes,
Aye.
Beckman,
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah.
It's important. All right, next we have Bird Oak Estates, number 3, final plat.
So this is the final plat, the same preliminary plat for stage 3, we went through last. At the June 20th planning commission meeting, commissioners voted unanimously to recommend approval of the final plat. The proposed subdivision is located in current Borough 2 subdivision. It is 4.19 acres. The proposed subdivision would include 6 single-family residential lots ranging from approximately 0.4 to 0.7 acres. These lot sizes meet the minimum requirements for the lots in suburban zoning district. All plats and plans were reviewed by staff as well as outside engineering consultants with minimal comments. And since the approval of the preliminary plat, comments from Rural Water 2 and received their approval. Staff has found the application is consistent with Article 10 of the LDO. Not be detrimental to health, safety, or general welfare. Staff's recommendation is to approve Borough Estates number 3 final plat.
And this is right off Lake Milo Drive, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I have a question, and it just kind of came to me, I don't know why, it doesn't matter. Is there a HOA out there? Or do they have to build within a certain amount of, like, landscaping and all those other requirements?
So the city has its own landscaping requirements that they'll have to meet. They'll go through the building permit review. So each builder, whether somebody builds out all of them or they sell them individually, they'll still go through the review and have to meet our minimum landscaping. But they don't have a current HOA on, they have to meet separately.
Any other questions? Not, is there a motion?
Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve Borough Oak Estates number 3 final plat.
I'll second the motion.
McMahon,
Aye.
Hayes,
Aye.
Beckman,
Aye.
Shields,
Aye.
Thank you, guys. All right, ADA grant at 10 East Peoria, which is the museum.
Yeah, so Miami County Museum located at 10 East Peoria. We'd like to add 2 ADA ramps in the front entrances of the building. In order to do this, the ramp would have to be constructed on the sidewalk owned by the city. The builder who proposed the ramps is from Legacy Company, who's currently remodeling and updating the museum. And attached in your guys' packet was a plan showing the dimensions and layout of the ramps. They can come off of each front door and turn to the side. The ramps would extend 5 feet out onto the sidewalk, leaving approximately 7 foot clear walkway between the ramps and the edge of the sidewalk. Each ramp will be approximately 5 inches tall and would extend 5 foot towards each other. To allow for multiple access, there will be 1 step down on the south side of each ramp. Proposed ramps were approved to be presented to the city for approval. Museum's executive board, and the dimensions meet all ADA requirements for ramps. Staff's recommendation is to approve the ramp construction on the city sidewalk at 10 East Peoria.
We also have representatives here. And from the museum, we have Rob George, the contractor for the project, if you guys have any further questions and would like to engage them.
Yeah, I had a question there.
Any questions
On this sheet right here. Yeah, it is basically, I didn't know about some of the terminology on here. Yeah, is that 75 people?
Well, so what this was a kind of sheet that ran in So that's just left over.
Okay,
What also says how many people could exit through that if there's an issue
okay, all right,
with the existing door.
all right. I'm just asking about 75 people there. I didn't quite understand that. That's all I had, Mayor.
Okay, I have something.
Okay.
I'm questioning why this item of an ADA grant wasn't at work session, so we could have discussed this and why wasn't it at our work session?
So I was waiting on the final dimensions. He got me those just after the. It's together and it's easy
Okay,
enough for me to get to know all the information, but
on full disclosure, I am a volunteer at the Miami County Museum. And the ADA ramp was discussed at the Miami County Museum Executive Board meeting on June 3rd. The director gave information on the building for 2 ADA ramps in front of the museum. It was discussed. Some were for, some were against it, some had no opinion, but we did not vote on it at the executive board meeting. The director said she would take the plan to the city hall and let the staff give a recommendation on it. The museum board meeting is tomorrow. And anything that goes on at our museum should be voted on by the board before we undertake anything. So as far as I look at this, voting on something here that the museum hasn't even voted on yet. And I'm moving to table this vote on the ADA ramp till the August 13th meeting, and we will have a discussion at the August 16th work session if it passes at the museum.
August 16th.
Here till September.
August.
You're talking about August work session.
Yeah, it'd be our next meeting in August 13th. August 6th work session, we can discuss this if it's at the museum.
Can I speak? That's incorrect. You can see in the minutes, and I copy pasted, he has it right there. I copy pasted the minutes of our meeting. I was instructed to submit it. It says right there that the board, the board said to submit it. I did that, and to see if we could get approval for it. And then in the meantime, we were finishing up our construction to see if that we would have money for that to do. So that's incorrect, Leanne.
I'm sorry,
And,
but we.
I did copy paste right out of our minutes, to that I didn't type that.
I do have that email correspondence printed.
Yes.
So like,
So the board did, the executive board did say to submit it, and that's what I've done. And we will vote tomorrow if it's, we hope that you pass that today. We will be taking it to our board tomorrow night, for them to vote to go ahead and do it or table it for another time. And we do have the money to do that.
Can we see a letter?
Absolutely.
I know, did you, Ian, or did you make an official motion to table it, or were you just in
No,
discussion?
I'm making an
An
official,
official motion to table.
but when she said, you said you vote, the board, the executive board voted
Yes,
to submit it
yes, then that's what,
for approval,
that's what I'm doing.
but we didn't vote on it. We did not vote yes or no to do
Which
it.
it sounds like that's what you're doing.
Leanne, you're getting confused.
So
So,
no, I'm not confused.
Yes, you are, because we voted to submit it to the city for approval. The executive board did. And that's what I tried to explain to you the other day. And then to get it approved, then we would take it to the board saying, city approved it. And then we would talk, and that's tomorrow night. And that's what we're doing.
And then
And I know you've been against it. But
all
it-
of this should be discussed at the museum.
so
It
It
should
already
be.
has been.
It-
I'm gonna,
I have questions on this And number one, did you take into consideration when you allowed this, the horse, you know, that historical horse,
Kathy, can I see that?
the horse thing that's out there on the ceiling? That's a foot and a half from the curb. So then when you say there's 7 feet of sidewalk to walk on, you're gonna have to subtract that
And
extra foot, so it leaves about 6 feet.
that's why I said approximately 7, and actually the ADA requirements for a travelable space is 5 feet.
So you
So
and
it
have-
still meets it.
Okay,
But Leanne, you already made a motion to table it, so we need to handle that first, probably.
okay,
Just. So she made an official motion to table it. Somebody can second it if they want, and then we have to take a vote. If no one else believes that we don't table it, then we just leave it alone. So that's where we're at right now. First, we need to deal with her motion to table it until August. So is there a second to table it?
Point of order, Mayor. That I'd like to ask more questions.
Good.
So in order to ask more questions, I got 2 choices, to second Leanne Shields' motion. Then I can ask these more questions, or ask questions prior to asking the question. So it's procedurally whatever you, there's questions I'm gonna ask, I just know procedure, how I'm
You
gonna
can go ahead and ask.
ask questions before.
So we know.
All right, thank you, Mayor. The thing that I'm taking a look at here is, I suppose, which comes first? Approval of the sidewalk versus by your board versus approval by this council. And the one issue which you did say just a few minutes ago that kind of piqued my ears up a little bit is you come before the board and then the council, and you're saying, gee, here's this. Obviously, we've got staff time wrapped up in it. And then you made the statement earlier that we're gonna see if we're gonna approve it then or not. I'm not gonna let you, I got a little bit of a problem that we take staff time and then we take a look at it and let's say we approve it, whatever. And then it goes back to you guys, we've done expanded and we've done a lot. And then you go, well, make a decision. Can you see me being a little bit trepid about that? Seriously?
I have talked to a lot of the other board members, and there's so many board members for it. And knowing that we have the money for that, there's so many wanting to do that, so that we, the Indian room, the Native American room, for example, it steps down that far. So emergency getting people out, it's very important, and we can do it now for, in our budget. We can do it now in our construction. And so if we have an emergency for people to come out, then they wouldn't have to get the wheelchairs down those, and you would, come on to these ramps that are, up at 8 and 10. And so then the ramps come to the center. And within that, we're doing a lot of renovation in there. We expect more and more people this fall when we get that center open and the Native American room back open. So we feel that it's necessary, and the board have talked to me on, and a lot, most of them want. So that's why we're, pressing on.
I read the letter. I can see in there that there were so many for, so many against, and the motion passed.
I can send the full, to you if you will.
Minutes.
Mhm.
how many were at the executive board meeting?
There would have been you.
We have 6
2,
people.
6, 7. I think there were 7 there, and you actually voted for it, so.
I voted for
To
you to
submit.
get a recommendation from the zoning board.
You were-
It was not approving it or accepting it. That I voted for you to take the plan to the zoning and let them look at it.
Part of this is a little bit complicated because of personal investment, so
Yes, it
we need
is.
to
And
deal
this
with
is
the motion
this
right
is
now.
why I said this shouldn't even be here.
May I
Yeah,
speak?
please do. Yeah,
Okay. So I think that take the internal politics of the museum out of it and look at what our process is. This is not the first time we've had requests like this. One South Pearl, right across the street, they followed the exact same process. They submitted the exact same information. And that is why we added to the agenda. It's not required to add it into something to the work study. This is just another meeting for the open discussion. This is what would happen at a work study. So that is why we thought it would be appropriate to add it to the agenda. So staff does not see a problem with this. They have plans. They have everything they needed to get this approved. And just because it's approved doesn't mean that they have to go through with it.
Right.
If the board decides, hey, we don't want to do it, that's fine, but you gotta also take into consideration. I understand it seemed a little weird that they came before they had final approval, but that's a lot of money for them to put up front for this project before they have the approval. So you kind of want to keep that in mind. So take the external politics out of it, look at what is submitted, and if you think it's right, then vote for it. If you don't, you can table it.
Well, and there have been many times that something has shown up on the agenda, meeting agenda, that we didn't have it work session, simply because these are one level above housekeeping items normally.
Question, has our museum been cited for having that we were not ADA compliant when the way our setup is now?
That is not my part.
No,
They haven't been cited, but we don't go out actively
So-
and look for businesses because the city has so many old businesses.
Okay.
Prior, we encourage every business that is doing any sort of renovations or anything to bring anything up to ADA standards. It helps everybody out.
okay, I would like to say that I've driven around the parks, around the square, down the side streets. There are no ramps like this on any of the buildings. They stick out. The one, this one sticks way out. Almost every building around the park square has a step on it or a ramp. Some places has 4 or 5 steps. And even Rob George owns 2 buildings and he doesn't have ramps out in front of his buildings. But what I'm saying, and I will say that I have worked with the museum for 20 years, and there was a gentleman that worked there 6 days a week for 20 years, and he was in a wheelchair, never complained once. There was no problem about him coming in the door. There is not even a step to go up to on building 12.
I think you're dealing with stuff that you need to deal with.
Well, yes, and that's why I said this should have been discussed at the museum, not here.
Well, you guys, I think that we need to clean up our stuff and finish what we need to do today.
Right.
And then they can handle their board meeting stuff tomorrow.
And I'm
Because we're
asking
getting
that this be tabled so we can clean it up at our board
Okay.
meeting and bring it back if necessary.
So Leanne made a motion to table it. Is there a second? Yes.
Staff. Okay, when you're reviewing this and you're taking a look at it, regardless of whether they have filed approved it or they have not filed improvement, is that in your decision making, or do you take it as we have a set of plans and something here that needs to be approved?
That's exactly.
It's been submitted.
I review it to the code. I consulted with our building inspector, who's very knowledgeable in ADA regulations. He saw problems with it, still plenty of walkway, so we look at it at base. We don't go into.
Our decision here is whether to approve the construction.
Yeah.
We're not saying.
That they have to.
Yes, we're not-
I mean, that's all I'm asking is that, does this play your answers? No, it doesn't. And.
Yep.
To your question earlier about steps and time on something that may or may not. It's kind of a chicken and the egg thing, right? Kind of to.
Can't hear you,
What?
Rob.
Sorry.
That's not on.
Push that button right there. There you go.
The time frame, as far as JR's thing about the staff spending time without money necessarily being there, or not, whether it is or isn't. It's a chicken and the egg.
Mhm.
So two people have to decide, two groups have to decide. So they said, let's see if the city decides and they'll decide. So that's where we are right now. So it wasn't to waste city's staff's time. It happens.
Right.
That I have to present something to the staff to see if it's gonna happen before we can proceed.
Right.
I mean, that. You yourself.
I don't think you can keep.
Yeah, there are plenty of things that come to staff that we may or may not ever even see.
I mean, at the end of the day, the only question I have is, you know, I thought, what's up, we're gonna approve this, and then you guys, forget about it.
And that's what happens.
Yeah.
We just have to do hard.
You can see my point, can't you?
And we have.
Sort of.
It's not our problem.
No,
It's not our
our
problem.
job is to deal with what's here.
Well, like, I guess what I see in front of me is a properly submitted, ADA ramp at 10 East Peoria. And, you know, the internal stuff at the museum stays at the internal stuff at the museum. And I think, and that's all the questions I have.
And I'm gonna. Talking to, first of all, just because we haven't had any issues, we haven't had any citations or anything with, doesn't mean we're not going to. And if this is an opportunity to get something up to code, let's do it. And why would you not want to be proactive and not reactive, like we've said? You know, this is an opportunity, they're already under construction, they've already got the money, they're already, you know. Why would someone not want to make it accessible for everybody just because someone in years past that never complained? Maybe you just didn't hear the other complaints. I don't know, but I just feel like this is silliness because I feel like,
It should have been taken, it should have been discussed at the museum.
okay, but
And you can.
again, the chicken and the egg thing, you know, if you put the cart in front of the horse,
I didn't.
okay, well, whoever, I feel like that's what this is. I feel like, okay, we approve this, then they can talk tomorrow night and go, yeah, well, we have the loan, you know, we have, you know, everybody's blessing. Let's not do it though. Okay, fine. We have spent 15 minutes on something that they might decide not to do as an executive board. But at least if they decide to, they can move with it because they don't have to wait another month for us to do this all over again.
Either one of you want to second her motion?
I mean, she can call for the motion and see what happens, but
Is
Sharon did.
anybody in a second? Okay, then the motion dies.
I move to approve the ramp construction on the city sidewalk at 10 East Peoria. As presented.
Man, Hayes.
Aye.
Heckman.
Aye.
Shields.
No,
All right, motion passed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jan. Thanks, Rob. I do appreciate how we handle the things around the square. You know, you don't want to go around and force things, but if they're doing updates already, it's a good thing to tackle like that.
Absolutely.
So I do appreciate how we handle. All right. Staff reports. Chief, nothing? Kirk?
We have a pre-bid on the dam on Friday.
Yay, that's
So
exciting.
it's moving forward, that bid's gonna be in on the 23rd. Does look like there's some bidders on it this time.
More than one?
Yeah.
That's good.
When do you anticipate that starting?
This year sometime, yeah.
We're talking about.
I mean,
fall.
bids will be. So they've given them to any time to start it.
Okay.
I believe they give them a year to complete.
Yeah, year.
Yeah.
Is
By
that
the way, the police reports were.
it?
How did fireworks go? Leaving everything okay? A big fireworks show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
it appeared we had more people inside this year. We didn't have near as many people outside.
Okay.
So it seemed like it took forever to get everybody out. We always struggle, nobody likes the rules when they're leaving, and we struggle with that every year, but nobody got hurt, everybody got out of there safe, and we only had one arrest just prior to that. So it went well.
No parking signs went well?
Yeah, we didn't have no parking issues, and
Okay.
so the boat ramp was definitely full. Place else to park down.
I was one of those people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Were you
was,
on the bus?
it was rather interesting. We had to go straight down into the grass.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a good night for it.
Mhm.
Mitch, do you have anything?
Yeah. Whole lot.
Good.
We're up to 217 permits. We've got 2 new home permits last month. One at 1006 East Cascadia, one at Wood. We start to pick up there, and we still have a whole bunch more interest in new homes and like filling up some empty lots. Sonora Tacos passed inspection for their final inspection. Sonora Tacos,
Good, remember,
Oh,
they're on that trace.
Yeah.
The building and fire inspections, they're happy.
good. That's good.
Have a couple new businesses, to town. Medland Family Care isn't new to town, but they've relocated, to 103 Suite D, North Silver, and Walker Automotive. We actually have the inspection for it tomorrow and consultation. Be down. Couple new businesses there, the Red House on Hospital over by Price Chopper, torn down.
Mhm.
So, yeah. So,
Mary lived there for the longest time.
huh?
I know the lady that
Oh,
lived there.
really?
She's been dead for a while.
Yes, we did
Yes,
that. Yep. They just gotta do some filling in and
Right.
grading. Other than that, Mariah and Trevor have both been doing really great. Trevor's hit the ground running. Off on his own,
Good.
so.
But wait, you're doing
They've been making it really easy for me, so it's been nice.
Good.
Mariah's taken a ton. I mean, she's organized that place so well, and it's definitely taken a lot of weight off.
Good. I heard the gallery on the south side of the square is maybe gonna be opening next month, so you might be hearing something.
Interesting.
The one that's been there forever and not open yet. I heard they're opening maybe this weekend.
good.
So,
Guaranteed.
yes. His
Perfect,
son
but
is
nobody
running
can
it.
fit in there.
Yeah. I think his son, so you may be hearing from them soon.
Yeah, I think they had a consultation like a couple of years when they first
Mhm.
started, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've talked to them once or twice since then. Good.
Yeah.
Getting it, but that's all I had.
All right, good stuff. Good news. Randy?
I do not have anything to add.
Wow.
You'll hear from me on Friday, I'm sure.
Yeah. All right. Derek?
I wonder if Rob could step up and give us a little update on the, I think, over there at We All, where you're working out, well, I call it Shipman's Liquor. Yeah, cause I go, well, yeah, Shipman's Liquor.
It's been a lot of fun. So the back part, the single story part, it's
Yeah.
gone. Roof and floor is gone. We got the second floor roof structure, it's gone. Mason, once we could pull that stuff off, so horrible. The Mason's up there today and tomorrow trying to stabilize some masonry that's hidden behind the roofing, so it doesn't fall. So tomorrow, probably by lunchtime or so, we'll start taking the second floor out. Floor out. They start knocking down the brick wall and they use that for fill back in the basement. So I mean, so far, it's died yet. 6th or 7th dumpster of stuff. Just stuff. So it's going well as it can. I appreciate the cooler weather, JR. Tried killing us last week. So, no, it's going. It's going, so I need to visit with you sometime next week about. I gotta figure out something about sewer stuff, it's been demolished, we gotta get down into it. So that's coming up next. So that's where we are with that, and to, it's just about Trevor, the new building inspector, thank you. And Mariah so far, thank you, because we definitely need something like that to prevent the crap that got built. Shouldn't, because that never should have happened. So.
Anything else? Derek?
No, that's it.
Debbie?
Yep.
Kathy?
Yes, I want to congratulate the departments on their budgets. They're doing good. I'm very proud of everybody. They're doing good. That's all I wanted to say.
Very good. Leanne?
I want to thank Kurt for the wonderful streets that you are resurfacing. I know that I drove over some of them today. Looks great.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, I don't have anything tonight. So just something looking to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Still be down there.
Aye.
Faith?
Aye.
Say aye.
You say aye to the adjournment.
Aye.
All right, motion passed.